I'm your host, Kevin McPherson. It is Saturday, December 6th. The Arkansas Razorbacks continue to add to their winning resume. Back-to-back games now with an 82-58 win over Fresno State. We know in the midweek, Arkansas got the big one, 89-80 over sixth-ranked Louisville. By the way, the Cardinals bounced back today with a 9-point win of their own against a ranked team, Indiana, 22nd-ranked Hoosiers. So the quality of Arkansas' schedule, you had Michigan State and Duke battling out. Duke with a 6-point win there. I know Hog fans are just elated about the fact that Kentucky got thumped by Gonzaga. Just looking around college basketball, though, Arkansas's in a great spot now, 7-2 overall. Again, the two-game winning streak. Arkansas's won 6 of its last 7 games. The Razorbacks, the only thing better than the bad offensive start was the great suffocating defense that Arkansas threw on the court in that first half. Because, if you looked at it from an offensive standpoint, neither team really lit the thing up, and Arkansas led by as many as 12 points. Bulldogs come in at 6-3, 168th in the net rankings. Arkansas 33rd in net, so about a middling team when you look at a mid-major and look at the total landscape. But the Razorbacks really got things going to start the second half. An extended 22-6 run. It was 10-0. That extended to 22-6. You finally saw at the end of the first half DJ Wagner thaw out a little bit. Then it was Carter Knox to start the second half, and another big shot by DJ. These are two guys, if you watched my post-game show from the win of Louisville, I brought up the fact that despite each of those two scoring only 5 points in that game, if you looked at it, their field goal attempts were escalated as the freshmen dialed down their attempts and kind of got more of their teammates involved. And so, not that Knox or Wagner made shots against Louisville, they didn't make a lot, but they got more attempts. And so that's how you get into the flows. You've got to get attempts up to score. And then the more you get up, the more that you maybe thaw out a little bit and play yourself out of a slump. And I thought that happened in game. I mean, DJ had some good looks in the first half. Nothing was falling really for Arkansas. I think Malik Thomas was the only effective perimeter shooter in that first half playing off the bench. But DJ finally got going. And then again, Carter Knox did as well. Both of them in double-figure scoring today after getting 9 and 8 field goal attempts respectively against Louisville, but each only scoring 5 points in that game. Today, Wagner had 12 points. He was 4 of 10 overall, 2 of 8 from 3, but he started 0 for 4 from 3. So his final 4 3-point attempts, he made half of those, made 2. 12 points again for DJ Wagner in 30 minutes. This is the most minutes he's played in a few games. Of course, he and Knox both start. Knox ends up with 11 points, 3 of 5 from 3, 4 of 9 overall. That's great. 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He was contributing in other ways as well. And Knox has been a guy that his efficiency hasn't been a problem this year. He shot the ball efficiently everywhere. 2-point shots, 3-point shots, free throws. It's just not a whole lot of volume of shots for him. And so the last couple of games, Knox taking 9 shots a day, DJ 10. So that's back-to-back games now where these guys are getting more involved in the offense. They haven't struck gold just yet. But maybe they were able to mine some silver today and get out of their funks, as they weren't giving Arkansas a lot of scoring production. Darius Acuff Jr. He and Malik Thomas both averaging around 17.5 points a game. Acuff today 18 points to lead the way, 7 of 12 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. He continues to be, he's a 40+% 3-point shooter. Came in averaging 5.5 threes per game, shot 6 today. So he's around his number, right, but a little better percentage-wise, going from between 40 and 41%, 50% today. He's a 75% free throw shooter, and I mentioned in the preview show that I'd like to see him at 80 or above at your lead guard spot today, only 1 of 2. But when you win 82-58, 24-point win, you didn't need him to be perfect at the line, but 8 assists. That led the way, led both teams, 5 big rebounds. So this is back-to-back games where he is filling the stat sheet. It's not just about his points, because we know he's going to get those. And I asked Calipari about it in the post-game presser. I'm like, are you pleased with what you're seeing from Acuff in these last 2 games? Almost another double-double, but 18 assists in these last 2. The ball's moving around. It's the reason why it's that kind of attention to getting teammates involved is why you're seeing Knox and Wagner, their attempts go up, and some of the other players starting to get more opportunities as well. But Acuff was just a big game. Calipari's really pleased with what he's doing. You look coming off the bench again, Malik Thomas, he scored most of his in the first half. He had a couple of threes, and again, Arkansas didn't shoot well from the perimeter really anywhere in that first half, and then Arkansas caught fire. I mean, Arkansas couldn't miss. I think at one point in the first 5 minutes of the second half, the Hogs were 5 of 7 from three. So they lit the thing on fire after not being, again, so efficient in the first half. Arkansas ends up 11 of 30 from distance. Calipari has said it. I've said it. If this team is shooting 25 or more threes, they might be in trouble. Against a mid-major opponent, when your defense was suffocating and you took away the three-point shot again, that might be the headline. That might have been what I should have led with, is Arkansas back-to-back games now just ruthless defending that three-point line. But Arkansas, again, 11 of 30, 36.7%. That's a good percentage. A lot of threes. And you held the opponent to 4 of 26. Now, remember, Louisville was an elite three-point shooting team. A team shooting 35, 36 threes per game, and Arkansas held Louisville to, 21, 22% from three. A team shooting nearly 37% from distance coming into that game. This team not as good from three percentage-wise or in attempts-wise, but still much, shooting around 34% on the season, 4 of 26, 15.4%. And for the most of the game, I think even from the outset, Fresno State just couldn't buy a bucket from distance. They were constantly in the teens percentage-wise. So they didn't hit a couple early and then it just fell apart. They weren't good all game long, and I credit Arkansas's defense for that. Fresno State had a really hard time when its ball movement, and Arkansas's pressure defensively took away a lot, and it created a lot of turnovers early, and that that was a trend that continued. When you look at it statistically, I mentioned the three-point shooting disparity. Arkansas much better there. Arkansas dominating transition scoring, which is what we thought will happen in most games and continues to be a theme. But when you get 11 steals, you get all those live ball turnovers. It's the reason why you more than double up your opponent in transition scoring. 26 to 11 for Arkansas on the fast break. That's a big plus 15 there. Turnovers, plus 9, 17 to 8. So you got 11 steals, and you forced a lot of turnovers as well. Got an emoji that I can't interpret, so thank you for that. Whoever sent that to me, appreciate it. Courtney Mims, chime in.
What emoji was it?
I'm not sure. It's so fast. I don't know if it'll pop back up. Come on in. We're live, by the way, so
hello.
Enjoy the live.
Hello.
She got tickled by that comment.
I
Let's
did.
see
I
if
was trying to see. Ask them to send
There
it
it
again.
is. What is
Oh,
that?
hey, Transplanted Texas. He's great. It's a little salute.
Oh,
It's a little salute.
how you doing?
How you doing? How you doing, man?
Thank
Yeah.
you. This
Yeah.
is the geriatric ward. This is my nurse. Thank you, nurse.
No, I'm not. Everything you're saying is great. 100%. Totally agree with
I
it.
took my pills on time. It's empty. I'm kidding.
Hi,
This is not
guys.
one flew over the cuckoo's nest. Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate
I do
that.
what I can.
I need interpretive stuff here. All right, but the point is Arkansas dominated in all the right places. You got your transition scoring. You dominated there. The turnovers were part of that. Points off turnovers, Arkansas doubled up again. Remember, they doubled up Louisville 14 to 7, doubled up Fresno State tonight 16 to 8. So these are the kind of numbers, because we know Arkansas is going to be hit and miss on the glass. They just are. Was the Louisville game an anomaly? That was an elite offensive rebounding team, and Arkansas dominated offensive glass, second chance points. And we know that has not been the narrative all season long, no matter how badly they're beating some of these teams that are bye games. Tonight, total rebounds, Arkansas -2, 41-39. Offensive rebounds, Arkansas -2, 12 to 10. Second chance points, Arkansas trailed most of the game. They ended up evening that up at 10 to 10. It's just not a strength of this team. But what is, again, are converting long defensive rebounds, live ball turnovers, even some made shots. Arkansas can get from A to Z really fast, especially with Darius Acuff Jr. out there, pushing the basketball end to end. And some of the other guys, Billy Richmond III is one of the fastest end-to-end, and then one of the most electric finishers in college basketball. And so this is an Arkansas team that, while it's not playing its best basketball, I'd say it did play its best basketball for the most part against Louisville, with a few little stretches here and there. I think that's been Arkansas's best game. I'm not sure that Arkansas took it up a notch today, but the defense was so exquisite for the most part. There were some lapses, again, giving up some offensive rebounds, some other breakdowns here and there. But anytime you hold a team on 26 three-point attempts, 15%, you've done your job there. Billy's ejection took the heart out off the court. Yeah, Calipari said in the postgame, he brought it up, and he said, he thinks that Billy, he feels fortunate that Billy's likely not going to have to be penalized and have to sit out any portion of the next game. Well, we know Arkansas's got a week off and they play 19th ranked Texas Tech. And I don't care what anybody says and how they want to frame it. That's a revenge game. That sets up for let's get back in this. Get back in this picture of not only as a national contender, I mean, you would have then back-to-back wins over ranked teams, teams that are, considered contenders during this season. Looking ahead out of the ACC, obviously for Louisville, the Big 12 for Texas Tech. But then you've also, gotten your revenge. It's not the same as losing it in the Elite Eight, or the Sweet 16 to punch a ticket to the Elite Eight, but still, it's the next opportunity. Both teams are ranked. It's a national big stage game, and it's Arkansas going back to Dallas at American Airlines Arena. We know that was the site last year. Another Big 12 opponent from the state of Texas, Baylor, but it was at the end of the first week of college basketball. Now you're in December. Arkansas knows a lot more about itself as a team than it did a year ago, and this is an Arkansas team that's not battling and dealing with injuries right now. It's all hands on deck. And again, it may not be firing in all cylinders, but if you look at the totality of this week with these two wins, it's probably obviously Arkansas's best week of the season, but it gives you the confidence moving through the rest of December, how things set up with these two tough matchups after Texas Tech. A week later, it's Newark, New Jersey, and it's Houston, one of the favorites to win it all. And then obviously you're getting into the SEC, which I think is not as strong as I thought it was going to be. It certainly was going to be difficult for the SEC this year to live up to what that was the greatest conference of all time ever, and to replicate anything like that. And we've seen the SEC take its lumps. I don't think so far it hasn't proven to be the best conference in college basketball. It might not even be the second best. A lot more to go. We'll see. A few big wins here and there lately for the league. Certainly Kentucky's not doing its share of the heavy lifting. Gonzaga put the Wildcats down, and they put them down in a big way. And look, before we say anything more, we're going to probably make this an abbreviated segment. I'm going to go across the river and cover the rivalry game between the Little Rock Trojans and Arkansas State Red Wolves tonight at the Jack Stevens Center. But I will say this about J.J. Andrews. You probably already know that J.J. suffered a hard fall last night playing in a tournament in Fayetteville. And he was on the court for quite a while. Folks that were there said they couldn't tell if he was even moving initially. He was carried off on a stretcher. He went to Washington Regional. He got a CAT scan, some other testing, and as far as we know, his head coach followed up with me late last night, Tyler Wayman over at Little Rock Christian, and said the CAT scans, all the scans came in clear. He's got a concussion. He said it was the scariest moment he's ever experienced as a head coach in coaching. He said it was just one of those situations. It was really scary. And so good on JJ. He's back home in Little Rock. His team is playing, I guess, in the championship game in that tournament, Hoop It on the Hill at Fayetteville High School. I assume the team stayed there to finish that today or tonight. But JJ came back late last night and back home. And Calipari, without being asked about it, I was going to ask him about it in the post-game presser. Calipari brought up and said he thinks JJ's okay. He talked to his dad, former Arkansas grade, first-team All-American offensive lineman, All-Pro with the Philadelphia 76ers. You know this. Sean Andrews said he talked to him and he thinks JJ's going to be all right. So scary stuff there. And JJ's been on a tear. I just covered him the night before, Thursday night up there, that big 40-point, 21-rebound game. It's just par for the course for him. And Calipari was in the house that night, put out all that content. You probably saw it. Yeah, J.J. Andrews, baby, 5-star, top 10 rated. I've got him top 5. The rest of them can follow my lead going forward here if they want to, because that's where he needs to be. It's the hardest playing kid I've ever seen. The effort is unmatched. I've just never seen a 5-star grind like he does. He doesn't take plays off. He's always positive, always with his teammates. He's always smiling. And if things are going well, you see even more energy from him just in terms of, celebrating a little bit. But JJ, we wish him a full recovery and a speedy recovery, and things are sounding good as of now. All right, let's get back to these Razorbacks. We're about 15 minutes in. Thank you for joining me on HogvilleNET Hoops. It's my live post-game show here in the 501. This is my home, man. I didn't have to do a whole lot of traveling today. I've been all over the place lately, and I got to stick close to home, and that's cool. Plan to be in Dallas next weekend. Sometimes, I'm able to get on the road and attend some of these. Sometimes I have family matters that keep me back, but I hope to be in Dallas for that revenge game against Texas Tech a week from today. Just looking across here, Trevor Brazile, who I think, and I've said this recently, I think he's been Arkansas's MVP to this point. There's a debate there with Acuff and Malik Thomas, and even Billy Richmond. Don't sleep on how important he is to this team. But I think it's been Brazile, and today, with the numbers he's been putting up, not his best day shooting the basketball. Only 4 points, 1 of 7 from the field. He 2 of 3 at the foul line. He's been shooting 80% at the line. Second on the team today with 6 rebounds. He had an assist, played 29 minutes. But I thought his effort, and he got some deflections, and he was disruptive at times when you looked at Arkansas's totality as a defense, and as much as Arkansas did. I mean, in total, Fresno State 22 of 63 from the field, just under 35%. I mentioned the 3-point shooting, 4 of 26, 15.4%. So when your defense is doing that and forcing 17 turnovers, it takes more than 1 or 2 guys locked in on defense. And I thought, for the most part, Brazile had the kind of game that I thought was helpful to this team, despite maybe the scoring production not being where it's been consistently, as he came in averaging close to 14 points per game. I mentioned Wagner and Knox kind of thawing out, and now back-to-back games where they're getting some shots on goal. You like to see that. We mentioned Malik Thomas with his 12 points. Malik usually stuffs the stat sheet all the way around. He did have a rebound tonight. Let's see if I'm missing some stuff here with some of these guys. Billy Richmond, before he was ejected late in the game, or in the second half there down the stretch, 6 points. He had 4 assists and a rebound. Arkansas had a lot of steals, and I'm not seeing that stat right here, so I'm going to pop that up on the screen. Yeah, 4 big steals for Trevor Brazile. I knew he did more than just those 6 rebounds. So he had 4 steals to match the 4 points. He also blocked a shot. They're getting their horn buzzer work. I guess they're not pleased with how it went during the actual game, so they've sounded that thing off a few times here since it's gotten quiet in here. I guess it got too quiet. But 3 steals also for Malik Thomas. So in addition to his 12 points, only 1 rebound, no assists. He usually has, like I said, fills those stats. But he did have 3 steals tonight. 2 blocks for Malik Ewan. Defensively, he made some plays. 9 points. He'd gotten foul trouble in the first half. Picked up a couple of fouls. Didn't play very many minutes in the first half. Got more run in the second. Only 16 total in the game. We know he only played 17 against Louisville and had 12 and 9. So in this game, he had 9 points, 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 at the line, 5 rebounds. So his rebounding numbers, even though that doesn't seem like a lot relative to the minutes played, and when you cobble it together with what he did in this last game and what he did today, I mean, just look at it from the standpoint. Let's add everything up. 16 minutes today, 17 minutes the previous game. That's 33 minutes. So it's not unheard of for a college player to play 33 minutes in a game. Well, look, in those 33 minutes, he's been very efficient shooting, scored 21 points, and grabbed 14 rebounds. And he got a couple of blocks today. He had a steal in the previous game. He's doing more at both ends. He seems more active, more engaged, more locked into me. And I think this version of Malik Ewan is what Arkansas absolutely needs. They don't need him taking steps back or backsliding. They need him to continue on this path of being productive in more than one area. And he's got to play, he's going to have to, again, do some things defensively, and today he did. And so that was good to see. Still a work in progress in totality on defense. How about Isaiah Seeley? Calipari said in the post-game presser, that he'd like to get Isaiah Seeley more involved and like to get him on the court more. And he's thinking about doing that. And then he always asks rhetorical questions, or they're not rhetorical. He wants an answer to them, but you kind of wonder, is he going to give his own answer, or is he looking? So he asked, what happens if he gives Isaiah Seeley more minutes? And he just kind of looked around. And I said, someone else gets less minutes? And he pointed at me and smiled. And so I don't know who he's going to take minutes from right now, because I think we said the Louisville performance, it was the first game of the season where it felt like the comments we make that Arkansas has 8 guys with starter value, that it finally lived up to that against Louisville. Today, again, I really don't have any question marks about effort when I look around the board. Even Nick Pringle, only 2 points. You're not going to get a lot from him offensively. 1 or 2 from the field, okay. But 7 big rebounds. He led the team in rebounding in his 23 minutes. And he also had an assist out there. So I'm not sure, where, who are you going to go smaller and not play one of the bigs? I mean, or take some minutes away from one of the bigs? I'm not sure exactly where the minutes would come from. Nothing against Isaiah Seeley. At some point he's going to help Arkansas even more than he has now, and it might be this year. And then Calipari brings it up. You keep your eyes on that. But Seeley and his opportunities checking in the second half when Arkansas went flat. I guess it was after Billy Richmond got ejected. They kind of had a stretch there where they were up 32. The next thing you know, it was under 20, and they were just kind of in cruise control, coasting around. But Isaiah Seeley was out there busting it, man. 8 points, 2 of 3 from the field. Missed his only 3-point attempt, so he was 2 for 2 inside the arc, 4 of 6 at the foul line. He ended up with 3 rebounds and a couple of steals. So Isaiah Seeley came in and did a good job. Knox continues to struggle. Okay, I thank you for the comment. I'm blind. I guess Courtney's not up for being my permanent scroll message reader. But look, Knox tonight, again, 11 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, but 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, a steal. He did have 2 turnovers, but he's physical, and I thought he made some good contributions out there. And I don't know if Calipari bringing up Seeley really means anything moving forward. If it does, maybe he is trying to send a message to somebody. If you look at the wing position group, there's not a lot of other names to look at in terms of who he might be taking some minutes away to see what Seeley does. But I thought it, again, Knox is still, trying to figure out. I think he's still trying to figure out how to fit in with this group and with these freshmen that are your primary handlers and your best shot creators. I think he's still trying to fill that out. And he did like I said, he did some good things today. When he was on the court, only a box score +1 in his 25 minutes. And so he was a guy that if you looked at the exhibition season, even though he wasn't scoring a whole lot, I mean, he was just, right around 10 points, whatever. He was leading the team in box score +- today. And I noticed a couple of games where he struggled. His box score +- has been down. So I'm not sure where, what more, how you light that fuse with him and get him playing like he did so efficiently, so consistently in the last 18 games, the second half of the season. And he was huge. I asked him in the post-game presser about Texas Tech. He went off against the Red Raiders in the Sweet 16. He had a big game. And he's looking forward to that matchup. He definitely wants to, get back. I asked Darius Acup about it. He goes, "Hey, I didn't play in that game, but I want to win it for the guys that did." So Arkansas, it's not like they're going to shy away from this idea that, oh, it's just another game. I mean, the way I read the room and the words they used, Arkansas's had this one circled on the calendar. Texas Tech again in a week. You got a few days to get rest. You got a few days to prepare. And sometimes that's a hit. That's a double-edged sword because you're kind of on a roll right now. The previous coach, Eric Patrick Melsman, he couldn't wait to play the next game. That was true, win or lose. Very rarely did he want any extra days between games, unless it was a road trip or something weird where Arkansas was, in a pinch or something that way. But you get the full week again, so Arkansas's got a lot to think about and get ready for a really good Texas Tech team. Fresno State, I mean, again, this was an ugly first half. Arkansas did just enough to lead by 10, and then they kind of blew the doors off to start the second half. That was a thing of beauty, especially seeing Knox again and DJ getting their offense going. All right, 23 and almost 24 minutes in. I am going to sign off now. The Arkansas Razorbacks 25th ranked, 82, Fresno State 58 out of the Mountain West. Look, Arkansas's got a chance. I don't know if Arkansas will move inside the top 20 off the strength of that win at home against Louisville, backed up by this performance. But let's face it, Arkansas was right there with a chance to beat a really good Michigan State team that just lost its first game. Oh, by the way, to another top 10 undefeated team in Duke, another team Arkansas had a chance to beat. And then Louisville responds with a big win over Indiana today. So we know that Louisville has another quality win on its resume, and only the one lost to Arkansas. So I think this is an Arkansas team that should be ranked, whether it will be or not come Monday, between 15th and 20th. And there will be those who say, well, it's early December. What does it matter now? It matters. It matters. Your perception of the strength of your team matters because eventually those things factor in as much as the analytics do when you're being judged at the end of the season. And so when they say that it's a full body of work, it's not just what you do in your last 10 games and what you did in your league play, and the way that even the way that the analytics are set up, or to value the early games as much as the late games. These games matter, and I think the perception matters right now. I think Arkansas is a better team than where the ranking says it is, despite having close calls against Winthrop and Samford, because what do good teams do? They win even when it's not their best night. They find ways to win, and Arkansas is doing that now. And again, 2 top 10 teams that came into today undefeated are your 2 losses, and you had a chance to win both of those up until the very end. And so kudos to Arkansas for continuing to build. The next step, the next big test again is Texas Tech in a week, and Arkansas needs to go out and get that second quad 1 win. All right, folks, appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining me on HogvilleNET Hoops. I'm Kevin McPherson. This has been our postgame show. One last time on the score in case you missed it. 25th ranked Arkansas 82, Fresno State unranked 58. Until next time, I appreciate all of you. Be great in all your endeavors. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you soon.